Sessions. You know, we got Slime here. My man's introduce yourself.
My name is PRIME8, also known as Eddie.
And you're a rapper, right?
I am a rapper, yes.
We was just kicking it, talking about fucking just, you know, there's people that listen to lyrics and there's people that listen to beat, you know? Mm-hmm. We're like opposite. You know?
Yes. For me personally, like, when I'm listening to a rap, I'm listening to the voice, their lyrics, and the flow mainly. You know, like, obviously I'm listening to the beat too, but I think like a good takeaway for me, someone that's gonna make me want to listen to them, is someone who has good lyrics and just like a dope flow. You know what I mean? Some people are different, where they don't really care too much about what they're saying. They just want to kind of hear a melody and like how the beat works with the flow and melody, good transitions and stuff like that.
Yeah, I feel like definitely modern hip hop is a lot about
Melody.
You know, melody and how the song sounds. Mm-hmm. But like, there's still people who like, you know, like yourself, my roommate. My other roommates, they're like kind of like me. They're more about melody and stuff. But like, he talks about, yo, I gotta like feel what they're saying. Like, they gotta talk to me. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So like, there's different ways to listen to the music.
Exactly.
And you know,
exactly.
It's just discussing shit. These things need to be talked about. You know, like.
Exactly.
But you know.
And you know, and going back to what we were talking about earlier, like, there is a diversity of like what people want to hear when they're listening to music, you know what I mean? Some people, again, they're more about the lyrics, the flow, the real hip hop, you know what I mean? Like that real rap. And then there's other people, they're just looking maybe to like chill out and like listen to a nice melody. Like, someone that's a good example for this, is Drake. You know what I mean? He's very good. Like, he's a very good medium. When you're out with people, even if you don't know them, you already know Drake is going to be a good pick. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's only me, where it's like, it's always, nobody ever says no to it. You know what I mean? And he's a really good mainstream artist, and I give him a lot of credit. I know there's a lot of trash talk about Drake and stuff like that. Every artist got their own, you know, bullshit they do, you know. So I don't really care that much. He does make enjoyable music. And like, that's not to discourage artists who don't want to be Drake and want to be the other end of the spectrum. Yeah. Like me, myself, you know what I mean? Someone who's maybe like Joyner or Logic or Eminem, where it's more about the rap. Yeah. There's always going to be a demographic for that. Oh, yeah. There's always going to be a demographic for this genre, and this genre, and this genre, and this genre. Like, time goes on, but like, it's still music and it's still a classified genre. There's always going to be a demand for it, you know. So like, obviously, the more mainstream melody type of rap is more acceptable these days. Not acceptable, it's more sought for by the younger generation, especially. Yeah. But no matter what, there's always going to be a demographic for those guys, because guys like Logic, they're still doing numbers. They're still doing big numbers, even though he's not like giving himself all into that mainstream type of rap. Like, yeah, he implements some new age, like new gen, like type of like styles and beats and stuff like that to his music. But Logic's still Logic. He still does his own thing, like, to cap it off. You know what I mean? So I think as an artist, your most important job is to find out what you love and get really fucking good at it. You know what I mean? And like, yes, you should conform a little bit to like what music standards are now and what people want to hear, but do your own damn thing. You know what I mean? And be original and just like stick to it and get really good at it. Nobody can be a better you than you. And everybody's heard that a billion times, but I can't emphasize it enough.
I think honestly, like, this generation here is the time to do that. Like, creativity's just there. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're making a large range of music. Like, we have the materials to do it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has a computer. If you got a computer, you got a mic, you can make music. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly. And another thing that makes that possible is the new sound engineers, like the new production and stuff like that. Sound engineers can take like audio from like a literal video
Yeah.
and like mix it into a song and make it sound like it was recorded on $1,000 mic.
Yeah, no,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
It doesn't matter who you are, what you got, you can make it happen. Like, you know, consumers such as average listeners aren't looking like, all right, who's got the best mixing and mastering? It's, all right, is it enjoyable? Like, is it consistent? That's all they care about. You know what I mean? Like,
where do you think, like, right now, where would you see the rap game heading? Do you think it's going to go back to straight rapping, or is it going to go into, like, its own thing?
Well, you see, another, like, factor that's playing with what's going to be the most sought-for style, there's a big problem with that because YouTube is becoming such a big thing now. You know what I mean? So it's like, to say one style is gonna, like, we're talking about radio style rap, you know what I mean, mainstream rap, like, it might even just be as normal as, like, a different genre of rap sometime in the future because YouTube is becoming this much closer to becoming like a literal television platform.
Bro, yeah, no, that's a place for it too. They can easily do that.
So, beyond just rap, doesn't matter what genre it is, if you can get on YouTube and like build a fan base and make people loyal to you, they're probably gonna enjoy your music no matter how garbage it is. You know what I mean? And I'm not gonna say any names because, you know, everybody's got their own style.
Of course.
But like, it's like you can do your own thing on YouTube. Like, nobody's controlling you. I mean, like, YouTube's got guidelines, but it's not like a television provider where they're like, you know, swearing, blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? So like. But like, also going back to the question, like, yeah, the modern, like, you know, mainstream-ish rap, radio rap, whatever you want to call it, is probably still going to be more dominant, just because it's simple, and, you know, people like simple things. You don't want to give them a very complex rap when, like, maybe they don't understand that stuff, and, like, a good portion of the population may not understand what a lot of these, like, rapidy rap artists are even saying, and they're like, dude, this is just gibberish to me. You know what I mean? So, like, again, like, simple stuff is going to win, because there's also people who barely know English. They want to hear simple stuff, because, like, that's how I think of it. It's just, like, small things like that. Like, all relate to, like, people wanting something simple and melodic, you know what I mean, where the words just don't matter that much. Like, we listen to Spanish music, but I don't understand any Spanish, but, like, I still enjoy it because it's melodic, and, like, you know, like, I don't hear the words they're saying, I hear the syllables and stuff like that, but, like, it's still enjoyable. So, like, people are gonna like the simple things no matter what. Melody is always probably gonna win, but, like, that's not for everyone. You know what I mean? It doesn't win me over. You know what I mean? It might not, like, it probably wins you over. It might not win that guy over. You know, there's always complexity in people. I think people have different morals and standards where it's like, they might not even listen to the new rap because they talk about drugs and stuff. You know what I mean? So it's like, there's always going to be that type of people. You know what I mean? There's always going to be this type of person that's going to like this type of music. And I know I sound like I'm generalizing, but it's the best I can get to like an estimation. You know what I mean, of what's going to happen. But, so it's kind of what I think.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, you know, like, listen to that music, comparing, like, not even comparing, just like listening to other more lyrical things. I definitely think it has to do with personality traits too, because people like to listen to kind of what they relate to and what they see as fitting for their life.
Exactly.
Like, you're not gonna be a fucking guy in college listening to some '60s Beethoven, but, you know, like, it's just not gonna work.
Yeah, and, like, you could even, like, this is also a generalization, you know what I mean, but you could even pair maybe someone that's been in the army with really liking Eminem or, like, rock music. You know what I mean?
Like, speaking about that shit.
There's always going to be that type of guy, you know what I mean? Personality trait, they're a rough type of guy, aggressive. They might like aggressive music. You know what I mean? And it goes down to literally just, like, us as humans, like, how we interpret sounds and reflect them to our emotions. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's like,
how we fit them.
That's always going to be there because that's human nature. You know what I mean? That's why music is so great. It doesn't matter what type of music you love and are most passionate about. You can get a career in it. Because there's always going to be that type of person that understands where you're coming from.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
That's why
it's just about promoting yourself correctly.
And being confident.
And being confident. I was saying that earlier. Literally being confident that you can do it, so you can actually go out and do the shit you need to do it. You know what I mean? Like, you have to have the confidence in order to get moving.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're not confident in yourself, why would you invest in yourself?
Of course.
If you don't think that you could do something, why the fuck would you put money down?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. No human's going to do that if they do not believe in themselves. So confidence is number one. Without confidence, you don't go
anywhere.
You don't go anywhere. You don't go anywhere. And I mean, like, and then there's also that other end of the spectrum where you should also be not like complacent, like where like you are. You should always be trying to get like better and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, you should have confidence to know that, like, hey, I'm good enough. But you should also be able to tell yourself, like, I'm not the best, so let me keep working. You know what I mean? And that's
recognize your own faults. Too.
Exactly, and that's such a tricky thing to like figure out for maybe like the average person. You know what I mean? So like, it's just like a weird balance. It is a very weird balance, and I'm still trying to figure out when do I shit on myself and when do I give myself credit. You know what I mean? And that's why I think having a team is helpful.
Get different perspectives.
Exactly, and not only is it a different perspective, but it's an honest different perspective if it's a team member. If they're truly a team member and they're there for you to succeed, they will tell you what's wrong with what you're doing. So you can get better, so everyone can succeed in the team. That's why I said specifically team. I could go to anybody, show them my music, and maybe 80% of people, maybe 90% of people, if I'm being cocky, will say, that's good. But 10% of people will take a step back and be like, this is what's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that's in my own experience. I will send, let's say I send it to 50 people. I'll get, again, like 45 good responses, but I'll have 5 people be like, hey, it was good, but like, take a look at this, take a look at this. And those are the 5 people that I need. You don't need the rest of the 45. Those are just yes men.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If these 5 people are pointing out problems these other 45 people could have pointed out to you, they are just yes men. And that's how I've been looking at it, and it's been helping me get better. You know what I mean? And like, I'm not only comparing it to myself now. I try to look at like music from like the greats, like J. Cole, Eminem, Joyner. These are my greats at least.
Yeah.
And like, I try to see where am I on a technical level, you know, rap skill wise, because that is something I can't control. That is competition. Better rappers, you have a better chance. You know what I mean?
Of course.
So it's like, am I rapping just as good as them? Like, voice aside, melody aside, is my actual technique and stuff like that, is it just as good as them? If not, take a step back, redo it. You know what I mean? And that's what I've been doing. It's not hating myself, but it's also not being too cocky. It's just doing what's right. You know what I mean? Just making sure I'm getting better and I'm not staying stagnant and getting comfortable. Because like, it's good to like reflect and be like, damn, I'm doing a good job. But again, you always have to like kick in the door and be like, yeah, but keep going. You know what I mean? Don't stop. You know what I mean? Everybody, there's so many people in the world, somebody's working right now. Maybe harder than you. So.
Is your music on SoundCloud?
My music's on SoundCloud. I got 2 music videos on YouTube. And I got like 1 song that's on like Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music. So
if I were to play a song, if that's cool, which song would you want to put on?
Kill the King. Yeah.
Is it on SoundCloud
or? You can get it on SoundCloud or Spotify if you have Spotify.
I have Apple Music. Is on it?
It's on Apple Music. So search up Kill the King.
What's your Apple Music?
PRIME8. PRIME8. PRIME and then the number 8. And then that's it. PRIME8.
If I see you videos, like,
Do you have...
we do that. It would be like
There
kind
it
of
is.
citrus or like that. And like it would be just
I mix this, by the way, so the mixing's not that good, but
That's a dope cover too.
thanks.
That's dope.
I'm the king of the city, making fast rap. Everybody wanna get a little bit of half that. I don't wanna hit him with the meta, but I gotta prove it that I'm fluid with the movements and I'm moving to be useless. Blueprints and the shoe fits how you do this. Not a clue, it's abusive. How you do spit like a nuisance. Oof, just grab a noose and hit the goose neck. Never gonna get him a level, you better watch your fucking mouth. I'ma haunt your house. Make a motherfucker sentimental with it, and I wanna get him in, it better stomp you out. So watch your mouth and what you fucking talking about, cause you might end up walking south like 6 feet deep, the coffin's out. Basically a psychopath, empathy, no time for that. Chemically excited, fast by fire, flames and nitrous gas. I flip the switch and let this sit and grab a match, ignite this patch. I dip that shit so quick, so slick that fiber's in your eyes, cause that I don't wanna kill him, but I'd rather be the villain. Never gonna see you, kid, again. I beat it with a rhythm and I beat you with a heater. With the devil coming, ego wanna summon the demon and beat him. You better believe me. Let me get a second to reckon about a reckon. I'ma show a motherfucker the definition of effortless. Anybody catch up with the better, read you full of medicine. But you motherfuckers, you don't want to better shit. All you want to do is lay around about the joke. I don't really get it, cause it never gets the settlements. And that's what's evident, so I gotta show a motherfucker they irrelevant. Jump in the back, break it back so easy. Put up a fight, animal night so easy. Get him a sack, take it a bite, faux cheesy. Cannibal type, eat him a night, believe me. Pastor, tell the pastor, tell the
My
pastor,
boy
tell the king is
Tweed,
dead. Crier, tell the crier that his king is dead. Liar, I'm the liar that just reaped his head. Wired, bitch, I'm wired, cause he's deep in there. The motherfucking king's dead. Just like we said, so bow down to the king, Ed. Orchestra's heated lead, they're thinking that they're better than me. Ain't nobody catch the model, they is like a rat of semi. Hold up. The motherfucking king's dead. Just like we said, so bow down to the king, Ed. Orchestra's heated lead, they thinking that they're better than me. Ain't nobody catch the model, they is like a rat of semi. I am like a rat of auto. Run about the base cause I wanna wake, celebrate. And I'm in a face, made a king disintegrate. Should have run a mic to the hype, but a bit waste cause a motherfucker Netflix base. So elevate, man, I gotta meditate, and I gotta medicate. Better leave now, you never see the better days. All the motherfuckers try to say that I'm tame, better fucking detonate. Never blew up, but a bomb on a bitch if you ever $2. If he never shows up, I'm a haunting his shit like he never grew up. Like I'm under his bed with the boogeyman lay. Now the boogeyman dead, made the monster the prey. I am the number one predator, I'm gonna get you for reasons I cannot just say. I am the better competitor, look at the temperature, I got the heat in my veins. Better than ever, whatever the weather, cause Tommy will charm me, so get him away. I am the one that's ahead if you call me the dome of the race, and I hope you can race. Call me lieutenant or general, I'm on the federal pedestal, up on the ranks. What in the fuck do you think? I'm like a Soviet tank, I'm just be rushing your pain. Fuck it, I'll have it to take, all of the money at stake. Also, I'm taking the head of the king. Grab his head from the queen, action, I'm making a scene. Pastor, don't hit me or me, knows what I'm a fiend. Pastor, tell the pastor that the king is dead. Crier, tell the crier that his king is dead. Liar, I'm the liar that just reaped his head. Wired, bitch, I'm wired, cause he's deep in there. The motherfucking king's dead. Just like we said, so bow down to the king, Ed. Orchestra's heated lead, they thinking that they're better than me. Ain't nobody catch the model, they is like a rat of semi. Hold up. The motherfucking king's dead. Just like we said, so bow down to the king, Ed. Orchestra's heated lead, they thinking that they're better than me. Ain't nobody catch the model, they is like a rat of semi. I am like a rat of auto. The motherfucking king's dead. Just like we said, so bow down to the king, Ed. Orchestra's heated lead, they thinking that they're better than me. Ain't nobody catch the model, they is like a rat of semi. I am like a rat of auto. I'm the king now, bow down. Let me get the crown on, shout loud. Tell the motherfucker that I'm out now. Show the motherfucker who the king of the ring, but you better say out loud. Right up front of that crowd before you get a smackdown. Listen to your wax sound, listen to match now. Let me show a motherfucker how we're going to slash crowns. If you hate me, you'll hate me. Let's face it, you're basic. Rest in peace, king.
And that's
Rest in
So I want to hear how'd you create this? What went through it?
wow. So I was watching a Netflix series, Dexter. And for some reason, bro, I swear to God, I was watching it and it just gave me this vibe I had never felt. It was something so dark. And it was just like the whole, everything about the show is so dark. And it just kind of put me in that like phase as far as creativity. You know what I mean? And it just like, then that happened. That's all I could really say.
Really? So you just went at it and you were like...
I just was like, what's gonna go fucking hard?
I fuck with it. Shit. So.
Like what? And another thing was like, what's gonna go hard, but what's gonna like catch somebody's eye? Like, yo, whoa. Like, what's gonna make them be like, wait, what am I listening to? You know what I mean? Because like, I don't want to blend in with the crowd. It's like, yeah, maybe too fast for the general population, whatever, but I'm not doing what everybody else is doing. And they're all just kind of like, they're all just sitting in the same crowd. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, do you expect like somebody to pick at everybody that's in the same crowd? You know what I mean? It's
and
like,
that's just not good attention.
they all look and sound the same to them. You know, and they all look and sound the same to me. And like, it's like, dude, like, do what you like.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? A lot of those guys maybe are doing it because like it's what's gonna make them famous, and maybe they like a different style of music, and they're not doing it because they think like doing this is gonna get me famous. And it's like, nah, like knowing music will make you famous. Getting actually good. You know what I mean? Put your image aside for a second. Get good at what you do.
And I think image is a big thing people are worried about right now.
And it is, and it's important.
Yeah.
Because it like when you listen to the music and you look at the person who made it, it also creates a vibe. You know, let's say that, and it's like, does it fit? You know what I mean? And like sometimes you shouldn't discriminate and be like, oh, he doesn't fit what he sounds like, that, because that is fucked up.
True.
But like people subconsciously think it. You know what I mean? And like, it sucks.
Would you say some artists that probably don't sound like what they look like?
Someone who, it's a hard one actually.
Post Malone.
I could still kind of see it with Post Malone though. I can still kind of see it. You know, the raspiness. He's kind of like a big dude, beard.
I think definitely now, like his newer shit, maybe his older stuff, like what's that song When I Was Young? That like I didn't think, like that shit. I didn't think that was like what he looked like, but now like beer bongs and Bentleys, I feel like that's but like,
no, I know what you mean.
I don't know. I'm trying to think like too, really who. I mean, I feel like a lot of artists
maybe Kendrick. No, not even, dude. Not even.
I feel like they also kind of blend in with the way they look after a while. Like once you're in the game, you're kind of like, you gotta be that. You know, you can't switch up on yourself.
Exactly. That's another thing. You gotta be like undoubtedly real. So real that people just have to accept it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you try to like be someone different halfway through your career, people are gonna be like, "What the hell, bro? You've been lying to us."
Are they gonna notice something?
You know what I mean? Like
people were offended that 21 Savage was British or born in like a British country.
And like, it's like, dude, who cares? Like, how long did he live here? He lived here probably maybe a decade.
Maybe he was here for like he came like when he was younger, like not a teenager. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So it doesn't even matter. It's where you grew up.
Definitely. That's wild, bro. Like, thanks for showing me this shit.
No problem.
I'm gonna add that in the listening playlist. Shit. But like, did it take a lot to get it on Apple Music?
So you gotta like, it depends on who makes the beat, but like the biggest concern with getting it onto other platforms is the beat itself, because I don't make my own beats. I just go on YouTube and I shuffle through beats for like hours on end just to find one good one. You know what I mean? Where it's like, oh, this sounds like real professional, real good. And then I'll use that one. But the thing about that is like, if I want to get it on Spotify, Apple Music, or iTunes or any sort of platform that I can make money off the song, I have to get a lease or buy the beat. So like, it wasn't tough because it was like $50 for a lease. But like, if I wanted to add more platforms, like it would have been more expensive. And like, if it, let's say it blows up, hopefully, I hope, you know what I mean, whatever. If it blows up, I'm gonna like have to buy another lease and another lease. But like, again, if it blows up, I'll probably just buy it at that point. Because I'll have the money. I'll have the money. So it's like, all right, I'm just gonna buy it.
Did you have it on iTunes with this too?
It's iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify, and then I got a music video for it on YouTube.
Word.
So is that where the question of like masters comes in with a lot of artists? How a lot of artists don't own their masters?
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
the funding afterwards, like I feel like when you're trying to put it on, like when you're upcoming at least, like Nip was able to get his own, and like obviously big artists own their own, but when you're under a label, you kind of like you get it published, you get it like everything through that label.
So
when you're signed.
So specifically right now for you, in all technicalities, you don't own your master to Kill the King.
Well, cause I didn't buy the beat. I got a lease on it,
Yeah,
so I don't own it 100%.
Yeah.
So to say.
Mm.
So, but the money that I make off of the Spotify and iTunes doesn't go to the beat guy. When cause you sign up through like a loan website like DistroKid.
Do you make money off like Spotify and iTunes?
I've gotten like $11,
Word.
so
How does that
I'm blessed
work?
for that.
Is
I'm
it
blessed.
plays?
What?
Oh yeah, no, that's
I'm blessed. $11, bro.
Is that off just because it's subscription?
So I got like $1 from streams on Spotify, and I got $10, or I got like $9 from iTunes, and like $1 from Apple Music.
How much did you spend out of your pocket to get it on Apple Music?
Well, think about it like this.
The end of the process.
At the time when I was making that song, I had just bought my actual recording equipment, and all together that was like $450. So let's add that to it, because that I literally I bought that shit and then recorded that song. That's the first thing that I recorded when I bought my like new equipment. So technically for that song specifically, $450 plus $50 for a lease, and then $20 to sign up with DistroKid. So if you're an artist that's coming from no mic, no equipment, and then my program, I also got a program at the time that was like $120. So I was spending like $650. I was close to like $650 at the time. So if you're coming from literally nothing other than like a laptop, and you want to get something onto Apple Music, on average, it's going to be like $550 to $650, somewhere between there, depending on how much the producer charges for the lease and like what equipment you get. Obviously, I bought everything necessary in order for me to make a quality sounding recording. So I got a pop filter, I got like a mic stand, I got a really nice XLR mic, and then I got the amp with it, because if you get an XLR mic, you have to get an amp that you plug the actual mic into. It doesn't go into your computer, it goes into the amp.
Just imagine niggas don't even know that.
the real skeleton to the body of like.
This is the bags under your eyes of music. I'll say that. Working like a freaking dog, just to like buy all the stuff. You know what I mean? And then dropping even more money on a beat that some random dude put on YouTube. And you know what I mean? And it sucks, but at the same time, it's like, what else are you gonna do? You just gotta do it. Like everybody else did it too. Like, so it wasn't bad though. I'm so happy I did it, because you know it's open to land.
That's an investment.
That's an investment that is gonna last me a very long time until I need a new investment. You know what I mean? Like the next time I invest in new equipment is probably if I blew up.
Yeah.
Because then I could get like the best mic. Because as long as you have an XLR mic, not a USB mic, your recording, for the most part, isn't going to have that much of a difference. And any good sound engineer, or I'll say this, any decent sound engineer can make two mics sound exactly alike. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They can make it seem like it was recorded in the same room, and on the same mic, on the same time, same whatever, you know what I mean? It's because sound engineering is like, it's progressed so much. Like you can take something that could be like voted worst song on the planet or whatever, and turn it into like #1 on like the playboard or playlist or whatever.
Yeah, like
just by a good billboards. That's what I meant to say. I couldn't even find the word. But like they could just turn it completely, just like it's so crazy like what they can do with your voice. It is. I watched like a pretty decent sound engineer go at it, and I'm like, wow, dude, this looks like science. I was like,
that shit's just changing, and you gotta.
Yeah.
You know.
I got my simple program, and one thing that I believe artists should always do before they send any track over to any engineer, because this is what's going to make your song sound the best and make both of your lives easier. Learn how to like make the volume levels consistent on your own before you send it over, and like make sure you record it correctly. Like let's say if you're punching in for rap, don't stand like away from the mic on one take, and on your next punch in you're like this far away, because it's gonna
people miss that.
Bro, I'll literally hear it in tracks. Like, bro, like I know you punched in. Everybody punches in. That's just a part of making music. But like, it's just so obvious. Like they're here, and then they're here, and then they're here. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, record it.
I don't even know what you mean by punch in.
Punch in. Let me explain it. So let's say you have a verse for rap, 16 bars. And you can only get through 8 of those bars in one breath without being like, okay, bro, I can't go anymore. I can't hold any more oxygen. I ran out of breath. So what rappers will do, even some of the big rappers like, what's his name, Big Pun, he would punch in every 4 bars. So what a punch in is, like, if you run out of breath or something like that, you mess up, you stop right there, and then like you literally start recording where you messed up.
Yeah.
You know, that's what a punch in is. You punch in like where you messed up.
A clip of your voice?
It's a yeah. Instead of like getting it all one take, it's just more efficient. Yeah. Like one thing is you should always do as much as you can in one breath. Do like the very limit of what you can. Like that's what I believe. Because like nothing sounds more consistent than actually consistently doing it, you know what I mean, throughout the whole thing. But so like try to minimize punch-ins, but yeah, so you gotta record the same distance from the mic every time, you know what I mean, you gotta figure that out. And then make sure your vocals flow. Like if your rap is off flow and like you need to chop up the vocals and move it over, you do that. Because engineers don't know what timing you want for your like flow. You know what I mean? So if there's something that you want it to sound like, you just need a simple program. You go and do it, and just like split up the tracks and move them to like how you want.
Even
them to
before
flow.
sometimes.
Yeah. If you want a certain bar to come in earlier, you do that by yourself. Just cut it up and move it over just little by little, bro. Anybody can do that. Anybody. You don't need to know anything about mixing to make your track consistent. You know what I mean? Before you send it over. I always do it because my sound engineers, whoever I go to, they always enjoy it, and they always get the mix back quicker, and it always sounds better. Always sounds better. So like it's faster and it sounds better. If you need to do as much as you can before you start putting the pressure on somebody else. That's how I look at it. Like, and that's how you're gonna get the best music, regardless. That's as far as like recording. You know what I mean?
So Ericson's original platform is SIMESESSIONS on Instagram. You review rap albums and like rap songs and stuff like that. And we gotta start dropping them little like 2-3 minute clips.
No, that's a fact. Like ASAP, definitely. I mean, like this is what exactly what I'm trying to do. Like exactly what you're telling me is basically like, because there's a lot of traffic with music right now. Like everybody's going
saturated.
Yeah, it's very saturated. It's a lot of people coming into it.
People, dude.
And
everybody wants to be a rapper.
Exactly, and it's so easy to. And it's so easy to, but at the same time, it's like, what's gonna be good? What's gonna stick? You know what I'm saying? That's really what's gonna be here for a while.
Yes. Timeless music. Timeless music.
Exactly. There's songs that people still bump into from the 80s, 90s. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, I still listen to some really old shit. Like, other than rap, I'll listen to like Pink Floyd, bro.
Yeah,
I listen
that's
to
classic shit.
Exactly, bro. I love music in general. I don't really like country that much. So I like music. You know what I mean? If you flow, you have a melody, you're good, bro. You made a good song. There you go. You're good. Something someone could just listen to at the beach or in the car or whatever, and just chill out to. Sometimes we do overthink it too. I definitely overthink it way too much. in some sort of pursuit of perfection, where it's like I gotta think about it, like, would they listen to it at this scenario, this scenario, this scenario, this
like
situation.
a party setting.
You know what I mean? So, and like you can't let that influence like when you make certain types of music. You just gotta go with the flow.
Did you ever think with this music that I should wait a little bit, like I should give it a couple years to like publicize it, or you've always been like I'm trying to get the?
So when I first started, like I've always rapped, but never like recorded anything. I was way too insecure. I hated my voice when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I still every rapper, every artist still hates their voice because like it's your voice. It's just it's a human thing, whatever. So like I've always like rapped like low key and like tried to learn verses from like good rappers. Like Rigor Mortis was when it came out.
Yeah.
I tried to learn it. You know what I mean? Like I was always involved in rap, but I never recorded it because I recorded a couple times and I was like, my voice is so fucking bad.
Yeah.
Like no, if I rap, it's not now. Like, and then just over time, like shit happens, and I'm like, okay, I'm a rapper. Like fuck it, man. I don't care what people think. I went out, bought myself a USB mic, practiced, learned how to actually flow on the beat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Learned how to make lyrics, stay on topic, like make a full song, you know what I mean? And that took me like a year or two to really like piece together my style, the structure of my music, my sound and stuff like that. And it's still in the process, you know what I mean?
Definitely, bro. Like we were saying, room for improvement.
Exactly, always. And then like I started getting better and better, you know. It was when I started getting good at like faster flows.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm not like that bad anymore. I'm not that bad. Like
I'm sure you probably didn't start out bad.
I started like I made what really drove me my first time to actually like, go get a mic and actually start recording rap. I was with a friend of mine and we hadn't hung out in a while, and he just like threw on a beat, and I was excited because I've always like rapped, but like I never showed people. I was like, no, I'm fucking trash. Like,
yeah.
So, and I just literally, I ripped up the beat, and then he threw on like 4 more, and I ripped them up and just destroyed them. And it was like a crazy freestyle session. And he basically was like, dude, like, why don't you rap?
Why don't you freestyle right now?
No,
Yeah.
alright.
Shit, yeah, bro.
Okay. Throw on a beat.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna throw on this slapper on. Shit, bro. That's how you learn, though. You know, one day you just let it out.
Mm-hmm.
You heard Ericson?
What happened?
After he freestyles, we'll wrap it up.
All right, yeah, no,
Go ahead and shout yourself out real quick.
yes, sir.
Alright, give me your ads.
PRIME8 on Apple Music.
Hey.
Oh wait, went to YouTube real quick. Hold up.
Yo.
I keep killing your phone.
Hey. They call me Luda Brain. I'm going too insane. If I don't shoot for fame, it's likely I might shoot my veins. Call me junkie and a punk, cause I misuse my slang. I spit like Hussein, mix bat wings from Bruce Wayne. Top soldier, the heart colder than stockbrokers. Macrodosa, grass, coke, and tobacco rolled up. Hop vultures go jock flows off a hop hover. Pop culture get dropped over by October. Pop toaster go off and now they pop Travolta. Y'all get smoldered by hot sulfur and stomped over. Get chalk folded and squashed into a hot nova. I'm Darth Yoda meets Darth Vader and Han Solo. All All these rapper babies got me playing Octomom. Abuse them swiftly with about I do it nonchalant. I fuck the soccer mom and call my mom to talk and flaunt. Fuck your entourage, I'll do it off and on. Shit, I go lunatic, a canine that's abused a bit. From 2 to 6, I burn K12 then sniff a tube but glue the trip. I'm rude to bitches, cause bitches are rude to dudes who different. I'm no root to riches, skank, go find a Jew with millions. You fucking rudimentary, my style rule a century. I hang millennials off a ceiling fan to prove I'm empty. Lone wolf, killing spree, flow is fueled and ready. Want the sauce, get the beat, bitch or compliment. Chop it like Anakin, I'm better panic. I run up inside of a mall's a mannequin. Pop at the cup as they drop it and vanish. And look at them, making them stiff as a mannequin. No way to banish it. I got the cannon, no cannabis. You might get hit with the blanket. I got the hammock, it hanging, no management. I cannot handle my demons or channel it. Hey, this a montage. Hey,
This shit was hard. That shit could have been a song, bro. Deadass.
That was not off the top. That was off the top?
Nah.
Yeah, I knew it.
No, off the top. I'm real. It wasn't off the top.
That shit still went hard.
I
though.
still found something to work with it. I was like, alright, this might work with it.
Oh shit. Damn. That was some good stuff though.
Yeah, good content.
Keep making shit, bro. Keep making shit.
Always, bro.
Keep blessing. When's the next time you think you're gonna release a song?
Well, me and Mac were talking about a lyric video, and that's the next thing I'm releasing. So I found like a big topic in America, or even worldwide right now, is mental health. And like, I've dealt my fair share. I'm sure everybody has, you know what I mean? We've all been down a shitty road, whatever. And like, I wanted to make something that could appeal to like all those people and talk about things that people do not normally talk about, because it's like, okay, we're going a little too far, like, this is too personal, like, maybe we shouldn't talk about it. And it's like, usually most of the time, those are the things that need to be talked about the most. So what I did was I made a 2-part, like, song about depression. And what I did was, the first part of it is like a very vulnerable side to it, where it's like, yeah, it's real, like, that shit happens, like, affects this, it affects all these people, I deal with it, blah, blah, blah. And then the second part, it goes into like a beat switch. And it's like a different side to like my different point of view on depression, where it's like, you gotta stop being a bitch at some point and like get up, and like if you want something, like go get it. You know what I mean? Don't just like sit.
That's a bright
and
idea.
like, I have the full thing all recorded, all set. I'm good. We're just trying to get that because it needs to come out with a lyric video. It's all about the lyrics. Yeah. It's all about the lyrics. You know what I mean? And I picked dope beats too. I picked dope beats, obviously. I
need to hear that. This doesn't have to be recorded, but I mean.
Do you want to hear?
Wrap it up with a exit to the.
Oh yeah. I mean, yo, thank you. I'm gonna call you Prime just because that's your name, bro.
Right. We'll be PRIME8, aka Prime, aka Edna and Nettie.
Tell them where to follow you at.
Follow me on Instagram at PRIME8THEAPE. So it's like PRIME8, my name with an 8 at the end, the ape. And that's my Instagram. My Twitter's GorillaBoyEd. You could add me on Snapchat, eDaher, EDAHER50. And Facebook, search on my name, Eddie Daher.
I think we covered it all.
We got it.
Shit, bro. Yo, thank you.
Oh, yeah, bro.
We meet again. All right.